So I had a funny dream. How many of you have had a dream? You know, they mentioned pizza today. Pizza can inspire certain dreams. Walking in heaven with Donald Trump, and we are on streets of gold, and everything's wonderful. We see all the things. He's telling me how fabulous, how there's nothing like this. You know how he talks. It's beautiful. Like seats 5,000 people, and we're in the process of buying 430 by 150-foot chairs. You know how you put leaves in the middle of a table? We're going to expand our tent to 60,000 square feet, and we'll have 7,000 because the harvest is so great. We just can't believe the harvest. We just finished 4 days along Highway 99 in California, where we spent months with the help of Frank Saldana, Inner City Action, teaming up with us to give away 60,000 invitations in the homeless camps, among the drug addicts and the gangsters. And they come, and I'm a little bit different than folks. For some reason, they'll sit there and listen to me, and we'll tell them on the card that there's going to be healing, conviction, and conversion. So 90% of the job of winning them to Jesus is done before they sit in the tent. And we have now an issue where the people getting saved are 5 times more than the counselors we have available. That's how in Bakersfield, California, we had an entire gang get saved. The whole gang. The president, the officers. And the focus of the tent, and then I'm done with this mentioning of the tent, is divine healing, where God heals, and these healings are confirmed by doctors. 3 of them have been so dramatic that we have made a full-length motion picture that will be in theaters next year called I Am Living Proof. And you're going to need a box of Kleenex when you see this movie because of the miracle of healing in these people's bodies. And the 2 of them were not Christians at the moment they were healed. One of them
I
was
am.
afraid to leave their house, and they were so dramatically healed. And we have members of the medical community that were here in the film. And some of the leading theologians of the United States are on in this movie verifying healing and miracles are real. So I'm going to tell you, it's an honor to be here today. I'm going to talk about revival at a certain point. Imagine that. I'm with John Kilpatrick, and I'm going to talk about revival. It's like challenging Betty Crocker to a bake-off. That's what that is. Hearing from God makes you a plumb line instead of a pendulum. And when you're a plumb line, and a plumb line drops in a room, it judges all 4 corners. It tells you where this is off, where this is right. And the problem is we have built an entire generation on flattery. So it's become a competition of who can seduce audiences the best. And what that did is it produced, in any event, when the churches were locked down in California, they shut down our tent crusades, and we rebelled and did a tent crusade in the middle of the lockdown. And it was one of our most phenomenal moves of God. Not one single record of anyone being infected by the COVID virus. it was a huge turnout. We give God all the glory for everything we've saying. We must understand that I believe Donald Trump is going to win this election.
He already did.
Yeah, but that was Sunday.
My reason may not be comfortable. The reason I believe, I'm going to say it again, the remnants are enough. And we're of the same tribe, you and I. We're in the same tribe. You might not like me.
I'm thirsty.
Relationship with his church. You know, you have a spiritual father, but you need an uncle. You know, you need an uncle. And Esther had Uncle Mordecai. I'm gonna be your Mario Kart. There it is. There it is. What time is it? What time is it? I'm not talking about this service. Don't look at your watch. It might break. The hour that we're living in became clear to me, and I'm going to read a series of verses. This is exactly where we are, Pastor Kilpatrick. This is the moment we are living in. One day, a broken-hearted prophet went to God and told God that the people of Israel were leaning toward evil. I was awakened by God at 3 o'clock in the morning. What is up with God in the morning? How many of you are like me? You're alert at noon. And I feel like my powers of retention might be greater after a good night's sleep. But the jolt that I received about this election is that God said to warn the people. And this is a warning, not to you, because all of you understand. It's probably thousands that are out there. But this warning has got to be issued, and it is from the Lord. It is prophetic. And what really makes it powerful for me is I am not a prophet. Matter of fact, I have called out false prophets by name. You know, how to win friends and influence people. But my complaint today in the prophetic movement, I'm going to say something. I'm going to do a little rebuking right now. My complaint with the prophetic movement are those who are esteemed as prophets who have been silent to call out the false prophet. Because you fear that you might be looking like you're causing division. But you true prophets need to open your mouth. And if you and you're not going to flatter the church. Somebody give me an amen. Help me tell it. Displeased Samuel when he said, "Give us a king to judge us." So Samuel prayed to the Lord, and the Lord said to Samuel, "Heed the word of the voice of the people in all that they say to you, for they have not rejected you, but they've rejected me, that I should not reign over them, according to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them out of Egypt, even to this day, which they have forsaken me, served other gods, so that they are doing to you also. Now therefore, heed his voice. However, you shall solemnly forewarn them and show them the behavior of the king that will reign over them." So Samuel told all the words of the Lord to the people. This will be the behavior of the king who will reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them to his own chariots and to be his horsemen. Some will run before his chariots. He will appoint captains over the thousands, captains over the 50s, will set to plow the ground and reap harvest, and to make his weapons of war and equipment for his chariots. He will take your daughters to be perfumers, cooks, and bakers. He will take the best of your fields, your vineyards, your olive groves, and give them to his servant. He will take 1/10 of your grain and your vintage, and will give it to his officers and servants. So he will take your male servants, your female servants, your finest young men, and your donkeys, and put them to his work. He will take 1/10 of your sheep, and you will be his servants. Now, before I read the last verse, I want you to know it's probably, after 55 years of preaching, the most chilling thing I've ever said in a pulpit. And in that day, you will cry out because of the king whom you have chosen for yourselves. And the Lord.
Could you get me a Sprite, Papa, please?
What? Sprite?
Yes.
Any Christian that votes for Kamala Harris is rejecting God. When I first began to write a blog that had now been read by 27 million people, I began to.
You want some more chicken?
On politics.
Huh?
Because.
You want another piece of chicken?
No, I'm good.
Not because I became political. I've been accused of being a politician. For 40 years, I preached against drugs. No one ever accused me of being a pharmacist. They have rejected you. They have not rejected you, but they have rejected me. And one of these leaders, the big leader of the evangelicals for Harris, all of these trans people use the restroom and be left alone. And that is precisely the opposite has been documented. Is they go in there and rape them in a terrifying statement to children, by the way. Well, so they say, love your neighbor. Love your neighbor. But they violate the verse. The verse says this, thou shalt love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength. And then your neighbor as yourself. There is no skipping step one and going to step two. Unless you hate what God hates. So everyone wants to say, there's a comma. Personal gain. Mario, quit beating around the bush. Secondly, you shall, verse 9, you shall solemnly forewarn. That's what I'm doing. If you got to know what's gonna happen, if she wins, you don't.
I don't see no coat.
Temperature, whatever the temperature is,
In verse 11, he will take your son. In verse 13, he will take your daughter. In Salinas, California, this week, by the highest and most credible Christian publication, Decision Magazine of the Billy Graham Association, was revealed a program in California as a part of the Kinder Buddy program. The fifth graders were instructed to meet with their video based on the book titled My Shadow is Pink, in which a young boy says his son's gender identity is just a phase, but eventually he abandons his prior beliefs and encourages his son to wear a dress. Following this video, the students were compelled to go outside and make
Yes.
their daughter choose a color for their shadow, representing his gender identity. 5-year-old. Principal and the district superintendent said the curriculum would not be changed unless the state legislature were to require it, and the school would not offer opt-outs for the school. The family lawsuit under California law, families with religious objection to gender identity instruction should remove notice and have an opportunity to opt out of it, but no such opportunities available. If
Put them on.
you look at Tim Wall
Where's your basketball
and you look at him,
shoes?
it's Woodbridge, Minnesota. If they leave the family home, if they run away,
Die for it to stop.
I want to.
dangerous because they're coming from a Christian home, they can teach the child.
I'm trying. He's got
That agenda and she on local schools. Rebuke that in the name of Jesus Christ. Yeah. Come on, somebody.
Get your clothes on, Charlie.
It is not a mistake that Kamala is now butting up to the Cheneys. An international war machine. People that make weapons. For all the years that Donald Trump was in office, we never went to war because our enemies feared us. And we know that our sons and our daughters are going to face a military that is ill prepared. It is undeniable. Everybody help me right now. Say amen. Now, it says he will take the best and give it to the Socialism will confiscate your income. Socialism, ladies and gentlemen, I'm from Berkeley. 10 years at the University of California, Berkeley. What a Ponzi scheme is, it's a pyramid scheme.